Episode 485. Do you have a license? That's Dr. Adams, Debbie said, gesturing at the man in the white coat. He's taking care of Sarah, and the other people are my classmates. Alex nodded. He looked at Sarah, noticing that her lips were tinged with blue. She clearly wasn't well, and she was lying listlessly on the bed. As he watched her, he grew concerned. After Sarah said hello to them, her eyes drifted off to the side, no longer looking at any of them. From time to time, she gazed around the ward, but she clearly wasn't taking anything in. She blinked slowly, giving the impression she was about to fall asleep. Alex suspected she was about to slip into a coma. Clark finished his conversation and turned to Debbie with a smile. "Debbie, is this your boyfriend?" he asked. "Yes, Mr. Fairfax," she said. "His name is Alex Ambrose." Clark looked very severe, but he spoke softly. "Hello, Mr. Ambrose. Thank you for coming here so late." "That's not a problem," Alex said. "I heard that Debbie suffered from a strange disease not long ago," Clark said. "And I believe you managed to cure her, isn't that right? My daughter's illness is also very difficult to treat, so I'm looking further afield for anyone who can help. If you have any ideas, we'd be happy to hear them." Alex understood the situation. The doctor must have passed on the news that Sarah was slipping into a coma, and now Clark was desperately seeking anyone who could help. "Mr. Fairfax, may I examine your daughter?" he asked. "Of course," Clark said, sweeping a hand toward the bed. Alex approached Sarah, observing her closely. Dr. Adams stepped in front of Alex, blocking his way. "Mr. Fairfax, who is this?" he asked. "This is the doctor my daughter's classmate found," Clark said. "His name is Alex Ambrose." He turned to Alex. "Mr. Ambrose, let me introduce you. This is Dr. Adams, who is in charge of my daughter's treatment. He's familiar with her condition, so if you have any questions, you can ask him." "Hello," Alex said politely. Dr. Adams was stunned. He couldn't remember coming across a Dr. Ambrose before. Curious, he asked, "Which medical school did you graduate from? And which hospital do you work in?" "I haven't studied medicine," Alex said, "but I'm quite proficient in healing." "You have no medical knowledge?" Dr. Adams asked. "No formal training? What nonsense is this?" His face turned red with anger. "Medicine is a serious business. Without study, you can't be proficient in healing. How can you be so irresponsible? Do you even have a license?" "No," Alex said, smiling, as he realized Dr. Adams was really pedantic and determined to stick to the rules. "No license," Dr. Adams exclaimed. "I knew it. You're nothing but a quack. This is one of the top medical facilities in the country. This is no place for you to play at being doctor." His voice grew louder as he got excited. He turned back to Clark. "Mr. Fairfax, I warned you that no one could help," he said. "Your daughter's condition is irreversible, and she will soon be in a coma. There is nothing that can be done. Anyone who claims otherwise is a fraud." Dr. Adams was determined to keep Alex from treating Sarah. He glared at Alex with contempt and blatant hostility. But he had forgotten about Sarah, who had not yet lost consciousness and had heard every word he had said. At the word coma, she had turned pale and had started to tremble with fear. A single tear rolled down her face. "Mr. Fairfax," Dr. Adams continued, completely unaware of Sarah, "with all due respect, Alex's presence here is unnecessary, and he's a risk to Sarah's life." "Dr. Adams, you don't know what you're talking about," Clark said. He's in a unique position to help my daughter." He remained calm, trusting in Alex and Debbie. An alarm went off, startling everyone, and the medical equipment began to flash. "Sarah?" Clark called, terrified. "Sarah, what's wrong?" Sarah's eyes had closed, and her head had fallen to the side. She was completely unresponsive. 2 nurses came to do an examination and gave Sarah extra oxygen. Thankfully, it appeared that Sarah was not yet in a coma. Rather, she had experienced a severe shock, which had caused her to lose consciousness. It was what Alex had expected, but it had happened much quicker than he had thought it would. Dr. Adams was at a loss, but Alex suspected it had been all the yelling that had upset Sarah, leading to the disease progressing. The atmosphere was very subdued. When Dr. Adams checked on Sarah, he looked at Alex as he passed, meeting his gaze. Alex walked over to Sarah's side, shaking out his hands. Clark sighed. It seemed that Mr. Ambrose couldn't help his daughter. After all, many people currently lay in comas all around the world, and there was little that could be done for them. Sarah needed a miracle, and those were rare. Dr. Adams glared at Alex. He still thought his presence was going to do more harm than good.